Hi, my name is Darrell Peck. I work for Corda and I'm a consultant for Daiwa. I'm going to talk to you about my long-range tactics and how I get the most from the equipment that I use. I've been currently testing a version of this rod. This is the 13-foot Basia in 3 3/4 pound, and I've been testing the latest version, which is going to be called the super long range. I've achieved distances of over 180 metres, which I'm sure you'll all agree is a very long way. Talking about technique and the basis for long range casting, the main thing that you will need is a rod that is stiff enough to cast 4 to 5 ounces of lead, and you'll need a shock leader of at least 50 pounds to take the force of the cast. Line wise, the thinner line that you use, the greater distance you can achieve, and this is because it causes less drag through the rings and is lighter for the lead to tow out into the lake. Also, it will help if you've got a reel with a very long spool and also a good diameter. This is a Basia and this is my preferred choice, and I've used these since they came out in 2008, and I wouldn't swap them for anything else. So again, the line situation. If you're going to be using monofilament, you could probably drop down to roughly 0.28 of a millimetre. This is 8-pound breaking strain. I wouldn't recommend you go any thinner than that, especially if you're fishing for large carp. If you're fishing somewhere where braid is permitted, braid will cast further than monofilament, but it floats, and if you've got drifting weed problems, then that is something you may want to take into consideration. Right, so going on to the technique itself, a lot of people when they try and cast their arms close into the body. You've got no leverage like this. Casting is a form of throwing, so basically the arms have to be fully extended. People will stand with their feet together or cross. If you're right-handed, your left foot forward and your weight is on the back foot. And as I go to cast, the weight is transferred from back to front foot. And I pull in hard with the left hand while trying to keep the right hand as straight as possible and fire the lead out at 45 degrees. If you're following through and slapping down onto the water in front of you, then you are overdoing it. You're putting the power in at the wrong time. So the rod should never really come past there. So try not to do that. Also, people say about the length of the drop from tip to lead. It is true that you will cast further with a long drop with a pendulum cast, but maybe not so true of an overhead cast. If you've got, say, a 6-foot drop, you can only lower the lead so far behind you. So I would recommend that for overhead casting, you look at a drop of 3.5 to 4 feet, and just check where the floor is roughly behind you so you know how far you can lower it down. And as you go, lower it, step forward, and pull in really fast with the left hand, trying to keep the right hand straight. Send it out at 45 degrees, and yeah, that's my tips for long range fishing.